Sounds. All right, we're live. Welcome to Keyboard Warriors, episode I think 8. Yeah, 8. With you as always is your host Eddie Law. Yeah, we got Fred Kirby from Gem City Fighting. What's up, dude?
What's happening, fellas?
And the Stand and Bang host himself, Aaron Robbins. What's up, man?
How's it going, everybody?
All right, so lots of shit happened this last weekend, including yesterday with the Jon Jones interview, UFC Boston. Fucking just a lot of weird shit. So we'll just actually, you know what? Let's switch gears for a second. Let's talk about Jon Jones. Did you guys get to catch that interview?
Yeah.
Yep, I caught it this morning.
All right. For me, I couldn't. I watched it live and I actually posted it on crossbonesmma.com, and I posted it out there. And then I watched it again this morning, and it did not seem genuine at all to me. It just seemed like the PC, like the shit that I should be saying type of I guess interview. Fred, what'd you think about the interview, man?
I mean, like you said, I kind of felt the same way, man. And I want to root for Jon Jones at this point. I know everybody hates him, and I'm that type of fucker, I guess. When people turn on shit, I tend to embrace it. So I really want to root for dude, kind of, but it did seem like he was giving complete horseshit answers. You know, he was even being vague. There was one point where she was kind of like, so, you know, had you done this before? Like, because he said he got introduced to it in college. And she was kind of like, well, you know, have you done it before? Then he was like, yeah, not really. What the fuck does not really mean, John? Have you fucking done cocaine since you've been in the UFC or no? What the fuck? Like, I don't know. He seemed like he was being vague and very PC. And I guess he's trying to save some of his image a little bit. But I don't know. He's fucking just rubbing it in the ground, and he's coming across as fake as fuck, honestly.
Yeah, and the way I saw it is I kind of wish, and look, because I'm personally I'm kind of past it. Let's just move on to the next fight and see what happens. As long as he doesn't come out trying to be a fucking choir boy, you know, it'll be fine. Although choir boys kind of get fingered sometimes, so that's kind of fucked. Anyway, but still, like as long as he doesn't come out trying to be like, oh, I'm the great, you know, I'm the nicest guy ever, I'm so respectful and all this shit, and I can be a role model, then fine. I mean, he could be a douchebag if he wants to, but I kind of wish he had just owned it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've done cocaine before. It doesn't really hurt you, you know, because I'm not taking it before fights. I don't really take it during, you know, training camp. It's kind of a recreational thing. And so, I mean, he should have said something like that, I think. But again, when Reebok's sponsoring you and you're easily the biggest name in the UFC right now, it's probably hard to do. So, Aaron, what'd you think of the whole interview, man?
I thought he was telling the truth. He said he didn't have a problem with cocaine. Obviously, he doesn't. He does it whenever he wants to. He has no problem with cocaine whatsoever. And he said he got caught. Those two things are absolutely true. He has no trouble with cocaine because he likes it, and he got caught. Those things are true. Donald Cerrone called him out 2 years ago. I think he was on Xbox Live or some shit, and he had said something about Jones doing cocaine. I think insiders know, but I'm kind of with Eddie with the like, all right, I know we're having kind of a slow couple weeks with MMA news, but you know, he got fined 5% of his purse, and he's kind of just becoming now like a habitual liar. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, you guys will never have to worry about me getting a DUI or anything like that. Smashes his SUV. No, I'm into God and I'm a Christian when I'm snorting rails off of a hooker's ass. And then it's the no, me and my management team had already decided to part ways with Nike because, I don't know, Reebok pumps are cooler or something. And then in the very next breath, it was like I perjured myself. And then now this bullshit interview. It's just like, all right, he's a disingenuous person. He's a liar. Does that mean that he's still not like the most talented fighter we've seen in the modern era of MMA? So, all right, if nothing is going to happen, then let's just fucking get on with life.
Exactly. I mean, and that's kind of what I said too. Right after I saw the interview, I was like, all right, so we're done with this right now. And like, we're done with this, right? I mean, unless he brings more shit on himself, I'm kind of done with the whole you know, the whole cocaine thing. But you know, like I said, I just want to. I hope everyone fucking moves on, just on to the next Jon Jones fight. Because I've said it a million times. Dislike him as a person because he comes out and puts a certain image of being like a fucking holier than thou kind of guy. And then when he gets caught with some bullshit, tries to play it off with a bullshit PR, you know, PC interview, whatever. But you know, I like the fighter. As a fighter, he's one of the best to ever do it. And might, he's still young. He might go down as one of the best, like the best fighter to ever live. But Fred, you look like you got something to say on there.
No, I just, you know what I'm curious about, man? The truth. Like, I'm watching that interview, and you see the bullshit. I'd love to just know the truth. Does he actually have a problem? Is he, like, I'm just curious on it'd be cool to be in John's inner circle and get to sit down and shoot the shit with him and be like, yo, what's going on? Are you partying? Like, because here's the fucking food for thought, man. Say he does got a slight problem. And he does tend to like his taste for women and a little bit of the nose candy from time to time. If that dude is partying and not taking shit as serious as he could be, and he's still this fucking good, it begs the question, if this fucking guy actually really did get his head screwed on straight, how fucking good would he actually be? I'm really curious of what the real fucking truth of Jon Jones' story is. Now, I realize we'll never get that right now. We'll have to wait 5 or 10 years before the truth and all this will ever come out. But that's just intriguing to me, what's truly going on with this kid right now.
Yeah, definitely. And what's up?
My biggest thing, dude, is, like, is this going to be a spiral? Because, like, how long did he go in his career before there was no mistakes? And then how long it was before there was the next mistake, and then another mistake, and another mistake? Are we kind of starting to see like that spiral effect? And Fred and I have talked about this before, me being in recovery and his parents' situation. If you do have a slight problem, that slight problem becomes a big problem. And that's what you start to see is your problems start to rear end each other, where you get away with it for a while, and then there's kind of a lull and you get in trouble again. Then your lies start to catch up with you, and your addiction starts to catch up with you. And then pretty soon, man, it's just one thing on top of another and on top of another. And what you see then is you're not going to see Dana White and the Fertittas be like, we support this guy. He's going to be a pariah. And that'll happen real quick. So I'm down with Fred's idea too, man. I want to know the truth, but I want to give this another 12 months. And pretty much in my eyes, if this guy messes up one more time, like publicly, in like a more than just like a little oops, I'm saying that the stance from the UFC, which really doesn't mean anything, this is a mess up by the commission. This light penalty and this light fine, the UFC doesn't lay down penalties and fines or suspensions or turnover fights. They'd have no control over that. It's the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So if people want to bitch about an organization, bitch about NSAC.
Yeah, NSAC has always been pretty shitty, to be honest with you. I mean, they fucked up royally so many times, and in boxing, not as much that I've seen anyway, not as much. But in MMA, they clearly have no idea what the hell they're doing, and it's shown. And so now you got, and real quick before we keep going with this, as usual, David Spears, our boy at Davey_boy on Twitter. He says that Jon Jones one-on-one was faker than the Obama State of the Union. Real talk. I guess we're not gonna get into politics. We already did before the show started.
No. But on a quick note about Davey, have you ever seen a kid who can get blocked by more people in one day than that guy?
He's goddamn skilled. All right, that is a fucking skill. I can't get blocked. I've got blocked by one fucking profile so far, and it's not even a fighter. All right, it was the weirdest shit ever. I don't know what I did to piss him off, but fuck him. But anyway, so yeah, on with the NSAC. It came out today. Vanderlei Silva's gonna sue him, and Jon Jones might do the same thing.
Listen, if I could just jump in real quickly on this. Jon Jones may very well have a case, because I don't know how all that works, and it almost does kind of seem like he got sandbagged in some kind of way. But fucking Vanderlei, this fucking guy, he's with the Rampage with this fucking guys. He needs to. I'm over that dude, man. Like, sue for what, homeboy? Like, what? Who wrong? Vanderlei has this image of somebody really fucking him over and wronging him, and maybe I'm just not seeing it, but I don't really understand how Vanderlei feels like he got done so wrong by everybody. Like the UFC, the Athletic Commission, they're all out to get Wand all of a sudden. I don't know, man. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I mean, and this is going off an article on MMAfighting.com by Luke Thomas. It says UFC middleweight Vanderlei Silva has sued the NSAC and is claiming the government. Motherfucker, this fucking webpage just went to shit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what MMA fighting does or who hosts their fucking website, but while you're reading the damn thing, it always goes blank. But anyway, I mean, look, he ran from a fucking drug test. He got banned for life. It was he wasn't even a licensed fighter at the time. So there's a lot of weird shit with that case. I could see a really good lawyer winning that case. But what does he have to gain? He gets unbanned, and then what?
You know what he's starting to remind me of? You guys remember the movie Half Baked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Dave Chappelle's character, the rapper who's a real bad pothead who smokes some weed with him, and then he's talking about he needs a backiotomy, and he's like, my lawyer had sex with my mama, and he just starts getting worse and worse. That's what Vanderlei is starting to get to me. Like, if you're in a bathroom, like say him and Jon Jones are doing coke in a bathroom, that'd be the only time where Jon Jones would want to get out of there, because you know that dude is just unloading this bullshit to anybody who can speak Portuguese and understand what the hell he's saying. You know what I mean? It's like nobody wronged you. Nobody wronged you, man. You cannot run from a test. You are obviously juicing. He's from an era where that wasn't that big of a deal. It's a big deal right now. You guys are hardcore fans. You know this. Just recently, there was exceptions for TRT, which, let me tell you guys what. If you're 32 years old and you're on TRT, either you have some sort of strange testicular problem, or you're using TRT as a way to enhance your natural, way to the levels that they shouldn't be at. You don't see 28-year-old, 29-year-old, 32-year-old guys using TRT. I mean, I'm 38 years old, and as far as I know, my ratios are right on the money. I mean, so we all know that exemption, that was an exemption for them to get away with a little bit of performance enhancing. Does Jon Jones have a case? Yeah, maybe, but I'll tell you this. You can't fight City Hall. There's no lawyer out there that's going to win that case against the NSAC. I'm telling you. I know how this shit works when you want to fight. He fought the law, and the law won. He's not going to get this. He might as well just keep his mouth shut. And especially right now, with all the highlights and spotlights on him, man, I tell you what, I got in trouble back in the day. And you know what the best thing you can do when you get in trouble? Keep your goddamn mouth shut.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fuck up, right?
Mouth shut. Make people forget. Do some nice shit. Deliver some flowers to old ladies, or make a kid with cancer's wish come true, or something like that. But the last thing that you need to do is go up against the entity that you supposedly got fucked over by.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows how, I don't even know who Vanderlei got to fucking take that case. I mean, they must think that some shit, like they have some kind of shit. Like I said, a really good attorney can win a majority of cases, but just like you said, look, it's gonna be lose for Vanderlei anyway. I mean, he would have been better off if he tested positive, clearly, right?
Yep. Who was Kevorkian's lawyer?
Who's what?
Who was Kevorkian's lawyer?
I don't know.
Because I mean, that dude killed people, and he got him off a bunch of times. So maybe he snagged him, because that's his only shot. Either that or Satan. If he was able to get Satan on retainer, maybe he's got a chance. I don't know.
Like Eddie said, even if he did get licensed, even if he won this, like, then what? The UFC's not going to have him. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? He's way past his prime. It doesn't. I don't know. That like that dude should just be quiet and go retire to Brazil and start some gyms and live off of the legend that he's built this far.
And you know what? Worst case, just fucking, make nice with the UFC, get paid for appearances, kind of like Chuck Liddell does, and do a little side job here and there, open up your gym, and fucking live quietly. Don't be
Exactly.
It's almost like he thinks he's gonna fucking repair his image when he already makes himself look like an asshole every time he puts on another video. Like, the first Vanderlei video, I was all like, I made a big deal about it. I was like, holy shit, he's gonna come out, he's gonna say a bunch of crazy shit, right? You watch it, you're like, okay, I mean, I guess. Then the second video, you're like, all right, he's got his shit together this time. We're going to watch something good. Let's see what happens. He's got a good point, right? Nothing. The next 3 or 4 videos, I was like, God damn it, dude, shut the fuck up. Yep. I'm done with Vanderlei. And speaking about juicing, back in the Pride days, they encouraged that shit. Ensign Anyway was on one, or I forget how you say his last name, but he went on Rogan's podcast and was talking about the Pride contracts. On there it said we don't test for steroids. It literally said that, but we test for cocaine and weed. Like, they didn't test for steroids for shit. They encourage that shit. It's crazy.
Right. We don't test for steroids, a.k.a. take them.
Take them.
Hey, are you talking about, did you say Ensign?
Yeah.
Japanese guy, real big Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter, right?
Absolutely, one of the best. I actually read his book. Fuck, I forgot the name of it. I'm in the middle of reading it, but I got like 5 books started. I haven't finished yet.
Well, here's a weird side note. You know that artist Guy Smalley that does the
Hmm.
caricatures?
Yeah.
He's sending me a signed picture of Ensign so I can give that shit away. So that was just like weird because I hadn't heard anybody talk about Ensign since what, early 2000s maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ensign's the
So
shit, dude. If you get a chance to listen to that episode with Rogan, he fucking opens up a lot of shit about pride and about his career and all that. So, it was one of my favorite episodes besides the one where he got Hicks and Gracie on there. But yeah. Anyway, all right. Since I guess we're gonna wrap up the Jon Jones thing, you guys got anything on that?
I got nothing.
Nope, that's it.
Neither does Jones, except for a little bit of the white girl on
Yeah,
his
just a
nose.
bit of this.
Hey
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Real quick before we move on to that, now I just fucking remember that I was on Reddit on the subreddit MMA whatever, and there was someone put up a GIF, and it's like it's Chuck Liddell was on camera, almost like he got caught. He puts his pinky down in his pocket for a second, and then he comes up like this, and he's like trying to like nonchalant go like that, and then he notices the fucking cameras on him. He stays like this for a second, like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, it was pretty fucking funny. And I was like, I would not be surprised if a lot of those guys were having a little fun on sitting outside.
Yeah, that I'm sure goes on quite often in all circles of sports and entertainment. You'd be a
And
fool about it.
yeah, man, I fucked up and found myself in nightclubs and in good old Scottsdale, Arizona, where I saw I will not name what sport or anything, but you saw some athletes having a little bit of fun, and you know what the fuck was going on. So it's always weird. Anyway,
The thing that I have a hard time with is like every time a UFC fighter gets in trouble, everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, BJ Penn was arrested. Oh my goodness, Jon Jones does cocaine." Man, the guys in the NFL and NBA do atrocious shit.
oh yeah,
You know what I
oh
mean? These
yeah,
guys. Here's the thing: you are a privileged superstar. Eddie, Fred, I have to admit, like the three of us, all of a sudden, we hit the big time. We got lots of money. Guaranteed, the three of us, we go out, have some fun. If people took pictures, we would not be happy about that. So
oh
that's what it
absolutely.
boils down to, man. I just want to get past it now. You know what I mean? Like there's other shit going on. Jon Jones did cocaine. It's a fact. It wasn't a one-time thing because you don't get caught with metabolites in your system after 72 hours if it's a one-time thing. But honestly, at the end of the day, who fucking cares?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
exactly.
if we opened up 90% of the closets inside of the UFC, there'd be some skeletons that nobody'd want to see. So, whatever, you know.
Yeah. All right, and so in that with that we'll close the door on Jon Jones. Moving on to UFC Fight Night Boston went down last Sunday, and first of all, the explanation for the card being on Sunday, Lorenzo said it was because they wanted to take advantage of the advertising during the NFC Championship game, which was Packers Seahawks earlier in the day. They actually put out a couple promos with Conor McGregor where they honestly they fucked up a lot of things. Someone called him the Irish Muhammad Ali, which is hilarious. They were calling it. They did a bunch of dumb shit, but he said he wanted to take advantage of that advertising right on Fox. That way, right after the AFC Championship, which was where the Colts got their asses kicked by the Patriots with deflated balls, they then the McGregor fight would go on. So let's talk the main event. Actually, no, let's talk Cerrone and Henderson first. What did you guys think of that fight? We'll start with Fred.
You know what, man? I'm probably going to step all over Aaron's toes with this, but I'm actually going to echo exactly what he had said before we went live, man. Quite frankly, I thought that fucking fight kind of drug on and sucked quite a bit. At least compared to what you expected with them two, the way their first two fights was, the way they both usually fight. I thought that fight kind of sucked. And, a lot of people are saying, that it was a bad decision and that Henderson deserved to win. And, I guess maybe you can make a case for that, but it's one of those fights where you can make a case for Cerrone. And if, there's 1,000 people in the room and we all just watched the same fight and everybody's kind of like, picking one or the other, nobody really did any fucking thing in that fight. Neither guy ever got really hurt. it was like a fucking hard sparring session where nobody really ever, there was very tiny bursts where you thought maybe somebody'd land one good strike, but it felt like after somebody land one good shot, they'd kind of drop back a little, and nobody ever really tried to fucking finish the fight and make it exciting in any way. I thought it kind of sucked, and nobody got railroaded by any chance. Like, whoever you gave that decision to, it's whatever, man. I was blah.
Yeah, man. But and the way I saw it too is I was waiting for somebody to pull the trigger and do something. Just like Aaron was saying before, it was like a sparring session, man. And so, but since we already stepped all over Aaron's shit, how about what did you think about that fight, man?
Okay, now first off, I have to call bullshit on the Fertitta thing why it was on Sunday. We all know that the UFC did not want to compete with World Series of Fighting. That's why they moved that event to Sunday.
Mighty Jake Smith.
Sorry, Ray Seffel, but that was never mind. All right, here's the thing. Just like what Fred said, you can make a case for either guy. Bendo pulling that whole face that he lost, that's because when it comes to tight decisions, that motherfucker always gets the nod.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you watched him fight and they woke you back up with smelling salts and you're like, what? He got off of him? Okay, who wins? and they give it to Bendo. And this one was, these guys, and I talked with Max Holloway and Yancy Medeiros about this. There's a certain level of respect and friendship that you get to, and then you just don't go for blood anymore. And that's where these guys were. I mean, look at them during the weigh-ins and during all of the press, man, hugging and switching hats and happy mugging for the cameras and then big hugs in the ring. And then everybody's like, well, look at the statistics in the fight. Look at the strike statistics. You know damn well the reason why it looks like Henderson landed so many more strikes was that front side kick to the thigh.
Yeah.
Now, a Muay Thai kick from Donald Cerrone burying into your thigh muscle, definitely, that's a game changer. But that little pop, that's a rangefinder or a way to stop a guy's forward motion. And I think even Rogan said, man, he's almost overusing that technique. You know what I mean? It was almost like a way to keep him away from Cerrone and to keep Cerrone away from him. So just like what Eddie said, neither guy pulled the trigger. It was like a hard sparring match, and I mentioned in my show, this is a case where they should just be like, you know what, regardless of what the scorecards say, there should be like some sort of executive decision to make that a technical draw. Neither guy gets the win purse. Both guys get their show purse. It's a draw on your record. Go home and rest and try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Look, just like I said, it should have been a draw the way I see it. But also, like Fred said, you could have given it out either way. It was kind of like, I mean, it's like the judges were talking to each other like, oh, fuck it, just give it to somebody. This is stupid. What are we doing? Yeah. But my favorite was Henderson's face while he's wearing a Seahawks shirt. And he's just like, what? Like, I guarantee he was going to get on that microphone and be like, yeah, Seattle back in the Super Bowl. He lost, and he had to shut the fuck up real fast. So, it's whatever.
Well, and then he had to, like, rev himself up. You could see that there was that moment where they were like, well, what do you think about this fight? And he was just about to say, well, I always win close decisions. What the fuck just happened? But instead he was like, well, now I'm going to scream real loud and make it seem like I'm not mad, and I'm just going to come back harder and stronger, and I lost 2 in a row, and that's never happened to me before, and I'm not the fighter I thought I was. I'm going to go home and cry in my beer a little bit. Son of a bitch, back to Arizona I go. But, I don't think that fight doesn't do anything or take away anything from either guy. Like, that fight doesn't say to me that wasn't the real Donald Cerrone, and that wasn't the real Benson Henderson. And right there, that's why you don't put friends in together. That's why you never had Matt Hughes fight Rich Franklin. That's why you can't have tight teammates go at each other. Well, except for Hector Lombard. I guess that guy just don't give a shit. He'll fight anybody. He ain't got no friends. But that the biggest loser of the night right there was the crowd, the fans, because that could have been fireworks if those two guys, and that could have been a hell of a co-main event. But fuck, man, just like the Jon Jones thing, it is what it is. I wish people just shut the fuck up about it on social media.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I was more excited for the Cerrone fight than I was for the main event. just because I thought, man, these two guys are gonna bring it. Cerrone's gonna, coming off of 2 weeks, but yeah, I mean the whole friends thing, they don't really want to hurt each other, so they didn't really go that hard at all. So I mean, you might as well give them shin pads and fucking 16-ounce gloves. Fuck it. But anyway, speaking of main event, Conor McGregor finished Seaver in the second round. For all the shit talk that Conor says, he's like, not only do I finish him, I picked the round. Like, I thought you said the first 2 minutes, dude. But all right, we'll let it go. Seaver's a tough guy. But Fred, what you think of that fight, man? Overall,
I gotta say, man. Listen, it's going to be easy to dismiss Dennis Seaver and say that he's over the hill. And, and I guess to a degree that is, somewhat kind of true. Dennis Seaver is a bit past his sell-by date. Yeah. But I still thought that Conor looked fucking good, man. He's a diverse striker. And I'll tell you what, almost kind of worries me a bit, but is almost kind of assuring too. Conor got caught a few times. Nothing really extremely hard, but he does tend to get punched. Now, against Jose Aldo, that could be a major fucking problem, but it also shows that he doesn't get rocked easily, because there was a couple times where Dennis Seaver stole on his face. Nothing major, but he did get punched in his jaw a couple times, and then close-up fucking clinch things. But other than that, I thought Conor's performance was pretty fucking fantastic. He never looked in trouble in the fight at all whatsoever. He controlled the distance very well, fucking threw some strikes. It was kind of the opposite of what you got in the co-main event. Felt like Conor was there to finish that fucking fight. He was throwing shit aggressively, and when he had him hurt, he fucking went for it. And just to quickly touch on the end of the fight, man, I thought that was fucking perfect. And I'll give a quick shout out to our boy Jeremiah. He has been fucking enraged with this shit. I wish he could have came on the show tonight, because he has been hating on Conor since this shit happened. Very disrespectful to Mr. Jeremiah. So there's your shout out, bro. I disagree, man. Like, I knew he was going to get on the mic and run his fucking mouth afterwards, and I was expecting that. But when he hopped up and jumped the cage and ran into the crowd, I'm the type of guy, man, I love that shit. Certain people get turned off by the WWE mentality. But here's the thing, and I was thinking about this morning. I'll tell you why I like it. Because it's not the WWE. They got to get in there and actually fucking fight. So Conor can do all this bullshit, but here in a few months, him and Jose Aldo are going to get locked in a cage, and he's got to back it up, man. There's nobody that'll save him at that point. So all this other shit, to me, is fun. Because there is no bullshit, and somebody does have to fight. So it's not like it's all complete bullshit and then we're going to hug each other. These fucking dudes are going to fist fight in a cage, and it just got 10 times more exciting with that little fucking 30 seconds of drama. Perfect fucking night for a Conor McGregor fan.
Yeah, I mean, Conor jumping out of the cage. When he jumped out and landed on that table, my first thought was, this guy's about to eat shit and break something. And he fucking held his shit. I think someone held him up. And then when he jumped down and he got in Aldo's face, look, man, Aldo's not scared of nobody. All right. First of all, he knows Conor's not stupid to fucking touch him. He knows if Conor touches him, there goes that damn title shot. And not because of Dana, but because of the fucking whatever state commission is gonna be like, you're not pulling that bullshit and coming here with that. But regardless, look, I was fucking laughing. I laughed from the fucking middle finger he gave Seaver all the way to the fucking end when he got in Aldo's face. You could tell Aldo is not scared of Conor McGregor. That's going to be, for as much as I don't think Conor deserves that fucking fight, it's still going to be, I think it's going to be a good fight. But yeah, anyway, Aaron, what do you think of that fight, man?
Well, I mean, it was exactly what I expected to happen. I didn't think that he would be able to finish Seaver in 2 minutes because Seaver's tough. But, I mean, you look at Conor McGregor's movement. And now I got to say, though, now that I've watched him fight 5 times, although he is really, really smooth, he is a repetitive fighter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We're starting to see where Conor does kind of the same things. He just does it really well. He's got a great straight left, straight down the pipe. You got good head movement and you can slip that shit, you're probably going to give him a little bit of trouble. You know what? I'm on the fence with this because Jose Aldo has been the champ a long time. And am I tired of Conor McGregor running his mouth? Definitely. But is he good for the sport? Probably. And whoever wins the fight, man, we're still going to have a great champ. We all know Jose Aldo, especially back in the WEC days. That guy's vicious, great champion, hasn't lost in forever. Conor McGregor might be the real thing. I want to focus in on Dennis Seaver's horribly bad movement.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you ever see one of them wind-up toys, like those dinosaurs? You wind them up and they just hop. Hoppity, 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 hoppity. I can't watch that dude fight for more than 2 rounds because he starts to, like, hypnotize me with that hopping back and forth bullshit that he does. But, you know, it was a foregone conclusion. They threw him Seaver, and that's exactly what was supposed to happen. I do want to bring up, like, a side note because Conor's actually been commenting on this. What's his name there? Lamas? Is that right?
Oh, Ricardo Lamas, yeah, on the when
Have
the
you
little
guys
video he put up.
Have you guys seen the delusional Conrad McGillicuddy?
That was fucking hilarious. I found it fucking funny as shit.
I don't give a shit how long it took Ricardo Lamas to make that. That thing made my day. That was funny as shit. When they go to that tailor and he hops out with them big goofy glasses and an ultra tight suit. I mean, come on, he fucking nailed that. It was fucking hilarious. Conor jumping out of the cage and getting into Aldo's face, just like Fred said exactly. Good for the sport. Who gives a shit? Neither one of those guys thought for a second that anything was going to happen. My biggest problem was right afterwards on Twitter, a bunch of nut huggers, Conor McGregor nut huggers, were like, "Yeah, you see, Jose Aldo didn't get in the cage. He knew not to get in the cage. And it's not up to him. It's not like he looked at his management team and was like, no, I'm not going to get in the cage with Conor McGregor. The staff won't let that happen because there's a chance of an altercation. And like what Eddie said, man, if there was any physical altercation at all, that would blow the fucking title fight, especially on the heels of Jon Jones and Cormier's bullshit. They're not going to tolerate that stuff no more. But you know, it's show. It is what it is. Conor McGregor more and more like he's kind of becoming like the Jon Jones situation where do I like the guy personally? I don't know him personally, but like the persona, I mean, it's getting old, but there's no denying that guy moves on a different level. You know what I mean? He's smooth, man. That capoeira or whatever it is, the way that he moves, that straight left, he's got good kicks. He's smooth. You know, he's a real fighter. He's a very, very good fighter. His record speaks for itself. I think it's a bad idea for him to enrage Jose.
Oh yeah.
You know, I said that's kind of like shades of Son and Silva too. You can only fuck with a Brazilian for so long. You know what I mean?
You're crazy.
Then you're gonna get you're gonna get a guy who's out for blood. But I mean, I think we're in for a hell of a show. It's not gonna be Donald Cerrone versus Benson Henderson. That's for sure, man. When those guys go to war, it's gonna be worth every penny that we pay to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's gonna be a good fight, just like you were saying. I'm curious to see because I think Aldo might be the same size as McGregor. I don't think Aldo's gonna be smaller than him, and it'll be interesting to see how McGregor handles the distance at that point. Because I mean, has he fought anybody that was his height or at least his size? I think everyone he's fought is shorter than him, right?
I think Poirier was close.
Close.
Yeah. Poirier is a relatively big featherweight, so I would think that they were probably pretty close in size.
Yeah, so, and joining us now, drinking already, at Nick B. Drinking on Twitter, Nick Pilecki joins us straight out of work, man. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Look at you, a fresh fade and all that. I don't know what you call your haircut. Is that a fade?
I guess. My barber he's like, hey, I'm going to try some. All right, cool. So I like it. That's good.
It's not a fade. It's different. I usually do fades, but mostly because I don't have much hair anyway. I just cut it down as much as I can. So
yeah.
Anyway. Anyway, so we're talking Conor McGregor against Dennis Seaver in the upcoming McGregor Aldo fight. What do you think of that main event?
Well, fuck the main event. When he jumped over the cage, I thought, oh shit's about to go down. I thought Aldo was about to go off on this little Irish man, but he just stood there and smiled, and I fucking loved it. Loved every second of it. It was awesome. And I can't wait for Jose Aldo to beat the shit out of Conor McGregor and shut him up. Just him smiling there, I'm like, he's ready to whoop his ass, and I think he can do it.
Look, all that showed to me is that Aldo knows that it's not, he's not, Aldo's on a different level than anybody else in that division, and it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be an interesting fight. But all right, so you think Jose Aldo's gonna whoop him?
Yes, 3 rounds. Takes him 3 rounds to finish Conor McGregor.
So not only is he's gonna whoop, he's gonna finish him in the 3rd round.
He's gonna finish him in the 3rd round.
All right, Fred, what'd you think of that, man?
Who do I think's going to win between Jose and Conor?
Yeah.
Listen, man, I think you got to make Jose the favorite in that fight at this point. I mean, I'm a Conor McGregor fan. I want to see him win. I like the idea of the new blood, and I think he'd make a fantastic fucking champion. You know what I'm saying? Quite frankly. But yeah, I mean, you got to favor Jose. Like his win streak is incredible. You know what I mean? Like he's been around forever. He's fought everybody. So there's no way you can really make a really valid case for Conor against fucking Jose at this point. You can assume some shit. You can assume that his movement could baffle Jose. You can assume that Jose is going to be a bit long in the tooth maybe and finally start to slow down, and Conor could come up on that. But, you know, either way, let me ask you guys a quick question. I was just thinking about this just for curiosity's sakes. Now, moving forward, do you think that that's the biggest fight the UFC can put together right now? I mean, outside of super fights, like in their own division, is Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo the biggest fight they got right now?
No.
Man, no.
No, not right now. I think with Jon Jones, Gus too. I think that'll be a bigger fight.
But that's not a foregone conclusion yet.
That's true.
True.
Yeah, so, fights that are going to go down, it's already kind of decided. I mean, you could make a case for Diaz Silva maybe because there's so many storylines there. Mm-hmm. But as far as like relevance and being like a big fucking fight for any division whatsoever, I would have to agree. It would have to be McGregor Aldo.
Yeah,
that's special, man.
My thing about that is, Eddie, you got your computer up? You can pull shit up on Google or whatever.
Yeah.
Bring up the top 10 of the featherweight division.
All right.
Because this was my thing when I was watching the fight. Like win, lose or draw, whoever ends up on top, man, there's a problem in the featherweight division.
But you got to think, man, that is pretty fucking special. I don't know what the fuck Conor McGregor is doing, but for him to have that kind of effect to where he could trump damn near anybody with this title fight, far as, you know, relevance goes, on 5 fights, and realistically, a lot of people are going to bitch about his competition, and they got a point, and guess what? It still don't fucking matter. He could still sell that fucking stadium out in Ireland to 70,000 people.
Hell yeah, he can.
But it's not happening there. It's not happening.
Well, I know, but still.
Yeah. No, so I'm trying to put a fucking screen share, but it won't do it. So maybe it's gonna do it now.
All right.
So yeah. So actually, it's gonna pop up in a second. Give me one second. I'm gonna screen share this shit.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know what?
We talk about the lightweight division, right? We talk about the lightweight division, and that is a stacked division.
All right, so
we talk about the welterweight division, and it is a stacked division. Mm-hmm. You get to featherweight, and like, all right, we got. Oh, that was up for a second. What happened?
I guess I need to be louder or something. I need to talk. I guess for this thing to pop up. But I mean, look, we got 15 week Akron Diaz, then Darren Elkins, Max Holloway's 13, Dennis Sieberfeld at 12, Click Weed is 11. For some reason, he's still there. Jeremy Stevens is a top 10 guy. Oliveira, Nick Lentz, Dustin Poirier is still there. Dennis Bermudez, Cub Swanson, Conor McGregor is 4. Lamas, Edgar, and Mendez rounded out. So it's a stacked ass division for sure.
No, I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. Like, all right, Jeremy Stevens, that'd be a fun fight, but I don't think Stevens moves well enough for Conor McGregor. Charles Oliveira, no way. Nick Lentz, I didn't even realize Nick Lentz was top 10. To tell you, he's already gone through Dustin Poirier. I don't think Bermudez is the guy. Maybe Cub Swanson. I don't think he has a hard time with Ricardo. I mean, no matter which way, win, lose, or draw, you got 3 other guys in there that he can fight. And then, in my opinion, almost every other fight in the top 15 at this point is a foregone conclusion. So, I mean, whatever happens, they're going to fight each other. Aldo's going to fight McGregor. Whoever wins, the next logical is going to be what? Either Frankie Edgar, Ricardo Lamas, or Cub Swanson, right?
I mean, yeah, Lamas, if he beats Mendez, I would give him that nod, but I would love to see Frankie Edgar against a champion Conor McGregor. That'd be a fun fucking fight.
Where's
I want
Mendez?
that fight now.
Yeah.
Oh, Chad. Okay, at the top. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I want to see him. I want to see McGregor go against a guy who is durable like Mendez or durable like Frankie Edgar. I want to see that because there's a lot of guys where like you get hit with one good shot. I was waiting for Seaver to buckle right away. You know, what I mean, I thought he was a little more durable than I expected, but there's a lot of guys in there like. You guys agree with me that probably Frankie Edgar is one of the most durable guys in MMA?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So there's a few interesting fights, but I'm telling you, man, after 3 or 4 guys kind of trade back and forth, that featherweight division's going to get boring real fast.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing too is, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I thought it was stacked more than. Oh, damn it! Now you fucking burst my bubble. I thought it was a stacked fucking division, dude. Yeah, but I mean, speaking of the other fucking divisions, yeah, welterweight's fucking stacked to shit. I mean, you can make cases for title shots all the way down to Gastelum for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. If he wins,
like
he'll get it.
Tank. Just like lightweight is a shark tank, man. 155 and 170, those are shark tanks. You get down to 145, and man, there's like some, I don't know, man. You're gonna burn that candle real quick.
Unfortunately, the heavyweight division is the weakest one, I think.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to talk about that shit.
I mean, Fabricio, JDS fought King too many times.
Crow Cop is coming back from the dead.
Yeah. I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Nice with that. Does anybody give a flying fuck that Crow Cop's coming back? Just
No, unless Pat Barry comes back and he fights Pat Barry again. Other than that, I don't give a fuck.
well, please no, not another fucking
why?
Crow Cop.
Look, here's the thing. Crow Cop, for the UFC signing Crow Cop, it's just a cock block so Bellator don't get him.
Sure.
Exactly.
True, yeah.
But to what end?
Well, wait, didn't UFC just sign that deal, a deal with Russia or something like that? Is that what I read?
Oh yeah, they signed the TV deal, yeah.
So yeah, because I saw you joking around that who the fuck, Fedor might come back.
No.
No. Yeah, Fedor's gonna commentate. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna commentate, and all Fedor's commentate is gonna be this. Watch, it's gonna be like camera's gonna go on. You're gonna have Russian Mike Goldberg's like, "Welcome to UFC Russia," blah blah blah. And here with me, as always, is my co-host Fedor. It's gonna be Fedor like this.
Yeah.
It's like the whole time for fucking. That's a good point, Fedor. Up in our first fight, the Skavakovich against Magomedov or some shit. But regardless, it's like. It's just a weird signing. And look, I see it as just Bellator not getting another name because Scott Coker's been killing it by getting names, not necessarily actual good fighters. You look like you're watching porn. What the fuck happened, Nick?
No, I'm just looking at. We're on division, and I'm looking at division. Can someone look at the women's strawweight and tell me what they think on it?
Let me pull it up real quick so you guys can all see it.
I think they weigh 125 pounds.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
listen, while we're waiting for that too, I'm just kind of curious. What do you guys think about Kimbo making his return?
Yeah, I knew some motherfucker was going to bring that up too.
Fucking love
Come
it.
on. What do you think? Are you annoyed with it?
Fred,
I love it.
Fred, you know that I love you, boy. We are in the same mindset with Pro Cop and Kimbo. I tweeted out, at what age do we start calling him Papa Slice? Who
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. So I think I talked to Eddie on it on 5 rounds. Was it 5 rounds or you alive?
Yeah.
You alive?
It was probably. Well, I don't know. We did both, so.
Yeah, well, I like that Kimbo's coming back, just for personal reasons. I grew up in Florida. I went to the same middle school as his son. His son, when back in the day, would show videos of his dad fighting and shit, and then I was like, yeah, bullshit, that's not your dad. And then I actually met him. Okay, that's Kevin Ferguson. That's fucking Kimbo Slice. The only reason I like that he's back is I liked him in the Tough House, even though he lost in the first round. He went in there wanting to learn. He didn't know, I'm a badass, I'm a street fighter, I'm just go knock your head off. No, he went in there learning, and he learned it all. And he took it to the UFC, even though he lost. He learned some shit.
He didn't learn it all.
He learned some ground moves. He learned some groundwork.
As soon as you take him off his feet, he looks like a tortoise.
Yeah, I can't get up. Fucking, you know what though? When I saw that he got signed, I'm like, dude, the guy's got bad knees. He hasn't boxed in 2 years. Hasn't fought in a cage in 5. Like, what's he gonna do? Again, just another name. Scott Coker's just stacking names.
He's heavyweight, right?
No.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
No.
Is he light?
He's heavy, right?
I mean, he could beat the fuck out of any Bellator heavyweight,
Okay,
probably.
He fought Houston Alexander,
That's like,
right? And
He also
Houston,
fought Matt Mitrione.
I don't know. Who cares?
yeah, I don't know. It's just Scott Coker getting more and more names. He's doing well to get names. They're kind of hoping for the same effect that happened with Bonner and Ortiz. That it might have been a dog shit, horrible, fucking incredibly depressing fight to watch, but people tune in to watch that shit. Now it did help them that UFC was the same night, and the second that card ended because so many finishes, I think it was. Everyone hopped over to Bellator, to watch a freak show, and it helped him in the ratings. Maybe he's hoping for more ratings for names.
Eddie, I gotta stop you. You said that was a depressing fight. Rewatch Stephan Bonner's part of the fight, but mute the commentators and put that song "Milkshake" on because of the movie. And if you listen to that song while he's fighting, that's the funniest fucking fight in the world right there, boy.
Shit. I might have to do that. I might actually try that. Maybe, drink a little bit and then watch it. Fucking, yeah, I mean, Kimball coming back is what it is. But, Nick, did you have something to say about the strawweights?
I don't know. Do you agree with the order?
Well, let's see. Let's put it up. So it looks like Joanna, Claudia, Jessica, Rose, and Joanne are your top 5, followed by Tisha, Randa, Felice, Aisling, Daly, Paige, and top 10. And then the last 5, Heather Clark, Juliana, Angela, Sohee Ham, and Beck Rawlings. I think it's too early to fucking rank these girls, man.
Yeah.
You notice that, what's her name there? The one that was getting naked on Twitter. What's her?
Felice? No, not Felice.
No.
Angela. Felice is close enough to naked, all right? But Angela
Magana, she's not even on here. So they got that one right. No, man, I agree with Nick. The top 8 for me are fucked up.
Yeah.
It's completely wrong.
I mean, I think Joanna's right. I think Claudia's right. I don't agree with Jessica. I think Randa should be number 3.
Not even.
I think
Rose should be number 3. I think Randa should be number 4. Felice 5, Bandit 6, Daly 9, Heather Clark 10.
Nick wants to see Felice Herrig at 5 because she's good looking, but
no, she's not. She's horrible. Nope.
I don't think she's top 5. I think Randa's way too low because she is vicious.
Yep.
I've seen Joanne Calderwood fight Muay Thai, and when she finally stops being timid in the ring, I think
someone's gonna die.
I think Rose Namajunas is too high. Probably past 10 to 15 is probably right. But I was kind of surprised that Jadric got the nod, honestly.
Over who? Like,
I don't know, man. I think I would, because Jessica Penne is long on experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's an argument to say, like, they're riding the wave of the show, right? Let's be honest. They manipulated those ranks to hell for the show. They could have rode that wave because, like, if you talk to the casual fan and you say Joanna Jadric, anything?
Exactly.
All right, that's all I'm saying. She's a tough chick, but I just don't get the I just don't get the business move there.
True. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But I mean, the I don't know. Oh shit! You guys see my Twitter? Look at that.
What's up with all the naked pictures of men?
Sorry. Yeah. Fucking.
Listen. They just started the division though too. We got to give it a little bit of time to kind of pan out, just a little bit.
Yeah, but they already had the rankings out during Tough. They ranked them.
Yeah, but the ranks are bullshit.
Yeah. Right, and like I think they need some new blood. I think they really want somebody that wasn't in the house to challenge for the title. You know
and
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
There's going to be 2 or 3 of them that are going to challenge for the title that I think that weren't in the house.
Do you think
like coming up?
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of rankings,
at least one.
What?
How did we even start talking about this shit?
I don't know. We were talking about rankings, and I was just going through the rankings.
I think Nick found out that Felice Herrig's fighting Paige Van Zandt and started baiting. He's just like, oh.
It's the fappening.
I can't wait for that fight. I cannot wait for that fight.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know who's gonna win that, man. But I mean, I hope it's Paige because Paige is fine as hell, and Felice is alright. Anyway, um, she's just I don't know. To me, she's just alright. Oh, now my mind just completely went out. Okay. So David tweeted Aaron a little bit ago talking about BJ Penn getting arrested. The last website on the planet Earth, okay, on the planet Earth. All right, we don't know about fucking Mars yet, but the planet Earth, the last one on this fucking planet, was goddamn BJPenn.com covering their own guy getting arrested. Not only that, but they like hit it in an article under is it Dave Herman or I think it's Ed Herman? One of the Hermans got arrested and led police on a chase. They were like, oh, Herman went off. He started a fight with cops and he had to get tased. Oh, and by the way, BJ Penn got arrested. That's it. That's kind of like what they did.
Well, the reason why he brought that up is because I was on the show last night with two Hawaiian guys, Max and Yancey.
Oh yeah.
Talking about that, and when I brought it up, they both started laughing. They're like, "Man, that's just Hawaiians. We get to dick it a little bit. We get in a beef with one of our boys. We end up scrapping in a parking lot. The next day we're hugging. No big deal." And I brought it up. I said it's kind of funny up until this point because he wasn't on BJPenn.com when I recorded that show. Everybody else had it except for BJPenn.com. And I was like, I think that's kind of funny because usually they're like, right, if there's anything controversial, they're like blowing that shit up right away until their boy gets arrested and they're like, no, did that happen? No, we have to confirm with our sources.
You know what? I have a lot of complaints about BJPenn.com, a lot of them. But when I heard that BJ got arrested, I was like, well, they'll have the exclusive, right? They'll have like the straight quotes and everything from BJ. Went on there, not a trace of anything, like nothing. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers.
Come on, man. You like politics? Of course not. What the fuck? Shit about that. What the fuck? They're acting like that shit didn't happen on BJPenn.com.
Yeah. They're like, huh? What you talking about?
Dude, the only experience I have with BJPenn.com, I wrote a great article on Joe Riggs. The dude opened up to me. We were like, getting to be bros on the phone and everything like that. They grabbed my article and they changed the name to Blueberries, The Bachelor, and Bullets. Because he said he was eating blueberries and watching The Bachelor when he fucking shot himself.
What the?
Fucking man. The one thing about websites like BJPenn.com, this is the last thing I'm going to say about them, is that they do love that copy-paste feature on computers, I'll give you that. Look, man, I'm not the only one that says that. Everyone does. All right, I'm not putting it out there. They fucking know what they do. Anyway, what else do we got? Oh, let's talk about this week. Is it this week? Yeah, this weekend's card. Fucking really card, in fact.
No, wait. No.
What?
We didn't talk about the Call Pendred.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Pendred. What the hell happened in that fight? Carl, by the way, according to Mike Goldberg, Coral.
Coral.
Fucking Coral.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Cathal Pendred. No, Mike Goldberg was mispronouncing Cathal Pendred's name. He kept calling him Carl Pendred.
All night.
The whole night. Even though Joe Rogan kept saying it kind of correctly, sitting right next to him, he just kept saying Carl. He was Carl the whole fucking time. So, so that was highway robbery. In fact, even like when they announced that Joe Rogan and Dana White were outside the cage, outside the octagon, they're about to talk about something different, and Joe Rogan was like, "I just saw someone get robbed, like straight robbed." It was pretty fucking funny. But Aaron, what'd you think of that fight overall? What was your reaction when you got you heard the decision?
All right. Well, first, Sean Spencer, good job. You're like the guy that nobody knows. You're just the grayed out, indescribable, no picture guy on UFC.com. To me, during the fight, they looked like they were fighting in different speeds. Like Cathal looked, and Joe Rogan said it a bunch of times, like every muscle was just, and his strikes were so slow and just like not fluid. And man, he trains over at that SBG gym with everybody else, and you kind of saw a couple of times where he started doing that Conor shit, and he actually did throw like the weirdest looking little heel kick there in the fight. But I guess the biggest thing is sometimes you think to yourself, man, okay, there's going to be favoritism. Somebody might get fucked. But I didn't think that's what happened. When they did the unanimous decision and there was 30-27 rounds, I was like, wow, look at this. The Irish boys going home with the loss. And then it was 30-27, 30-27, 28-29, for Cathal Pendred, and I was like, holy fuck. I mean, there's just no integrity whatsoever. That was just, I can't think of another one that was worse in recent MMA history.
I mean, you can make a case for Sanchez Ross was just as bad, if not a little bit worse. That one might be a little bit worse, just a little bit, not much, but
that was bad. You're right.
Yeah, this one was fucking just damn. Like as soon as the fight was over and they announced the decision, like I almost did the Benson Henderson face. I was like, wait, what? The fuck just happened? You know, it was a shock. But Fred, what'd you think of that shit, man?
Same thing, man. I mean, it was a fucking highway robbery. Short of the Pearson-Sanchez fight, there has not been a worse decision in quite a long time. Cathal Pendred is not a good fighter. Listen, I'm all for the Irish invasion. I love it when something like this happens, man. A new nationality kind of gets some life breathed into it, and you know what I mean? Like, I think this shit is super exciting, and I love to kind of see these unmarked gems start producing this talent and shit. I think it's exciting. But Cathal Pendred's not that dude, man. They've been trying to push him as like kind of part of this Irish, you know, sensation, and he's just not. He's not a great fighter. He lost that fight, fucking no doubt about it. What are you gonna do though, man? What are you gonna say? It seems like we talk about this shit constantly. The judging in MMA sucks. It sounds like such a cliche thing to say at this point, but like, you got to finish that guy. You're in Boston. It sucks. I would hate to think that like there's ever home cooking going on, but at this point in the game, you got to play it better safe than sorry, man. You got to go for the fucking finish because something like this could fucking happen, man.
See, that brings up a good point. I want to ask Fred directly. Now, you're realistic like I am about shit. When shows hit Boston and there's a big Irish, when shows hit Texas and there's this kind of, do you think that there's whispering in ears? Like, if there's any way possible, the Irish boys win.
Jesus Christ, you know, that's such a great question, man. You know, I don't know. The realistic party would like to think no, that isn't possible, that shit like that doesn't happen. But when you see shit like this, or Diego getting that W, it does make you go fucking you know? I mean, I would fucking hope not, because that would really fucking shoot shit in the foot for me in a major way. But, you know, I don't know, man. You do get some really odd decisions sometimes in very odd, unlikely places, man. I hope not. I hope not.
Here's a weird thing about it is Boston and the East Coast in general, those northeastern states are known for a lot of, you know, and I'll just say, you know, kind of wink organized crime. You know, my first thought, and I was joking around when I said it, and then I thought about it for a second, and then I was like, nah, it's stupid. But, you know, maybe there was someone betting on that fight, and they really needed Pendred to win.
Maybe. I mean,
the Irish which, by the way,
judges are humans. They're humans, so they can be got to. You know, who fucking knows? That sucks, though. What the fuck, you know?
Absolutely. Aaron, what'd you say on that?
No, man, I was just saying, just like what Fred said, man. They're human. They can be got to. Maybe they needed the Irish hat trick. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out. At least one of the guys actually fought real hard, redeemed himself in that whole Irish thing. Paddy Houlihan, he's one of my favorites.
Houlihan's grinding was awesome. We'll talk about that fight in a second. But Nick, what'd you think of that the Pendred Spencer decision?
I actually didn't get to catch the fight. I was still at work, and then I rushed home and just watched the main event, or the co-main and the main event. So I didn't get to catch it, but I have read about it, and I don't know. I was more shocked about the Cerrone Henderson thing than what I read about this. So
what'd you think about that fight, real quick?
I thought watching the fight, even my girlfriend was like, Henderson won that fight. I was like, yeah, Henderson won that fight. When Cowboy got picked, I was like, oh shit, no fucking way. Okay. Then we rewatched it. I was like, okay, I can see where the judges kind of could have picked Cowboy, but I still think Henderson won that fight. I was as shocked as Henderson was.
Yeah.
No one was as shocked as Henderson was. You see that face?
Yeah. I was just, like I said it earlier, I was just happy that he made that face while wearing the Seahawks shirt. I'm hoping that happens again next Sunday. That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be great.
That's the face you make. That's the face you make when you sit on your own balls.
I'm not there yet, dude, so I don't know. Maybe one day I'll find out, but
You'll get there, bro.
I bet I will, man. Shit. But let's talk real quick the Houlihan fight. And Fred we're kind of going back and forth on this. His ground game was pretty legit that fight. What do you think of that, Fred?
You know, man, first off, his ground game was fucking awesome. I thought that he looked fucking fantastic in that fight. His transitions, he was all over homeboy. The only thing, I guess, if I'm just being fucking a skeptic a little bit, is that homeboy, who was he fighting again? What was the cat's name? Who'd he fight?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember.
Nobody knows.
Therein lies my fucking. Therein lies my fucking point. I don't want to shit on the guy any, but I think that they kind of lobbed a softball at old Patty because he looked fucking really good, man. I don't know if the cat that he was fighting was quite up to snuff, but as far as his performance goes, he did his thing. He fucking represented for Boston and the Irish crowd, and I'd like to see him get, a nice little step up in competition at flyweight to see exactly how good he is. But hey, he styled on homeboy. You can only knock him up when they line him. You knock him down when they line him up. Like you gotta fight who they give you. So he can't fucking predict who they're gonna give him. He can just fucking do what he does, and he looked awesome.
Yeah, no, Julian was fun to watch. He's always a fun guy to watch. Those SBG guys are almost all fun to watch, except for Daly. She just seems like she just can't fucking make weight. I mean, not to saying that she's not fun to watch, but she just, yeah. Oh, god damn it.
Carl.
Fucking dreadful, that guy.
You shit all over my point, Fred. God damn it. Anyway, yeah. So we were gonna, after the Printer fight, what were we gonna bring up? Oh, this weekend's fights, the whole card. Overall, a decent card. Let me pull it up real quick. The main event giving you the next 205 title contender between Anthony Rumble Johnson and Alexander Gustafsson. It's a fight I haven't been able to pick yet. Like, we do the picks on UFCPick'em.com, but I haven't been able to figure out who I want to pick in that fight. I want to go with Johnson. I think it's his time. Mm-hmm. But the height, the reach, all that stuff that Gustafsson brings is going to be a problem for good old Rumble. But let's start with Nick. What do you think? What do you think of that fight? Who do you see winning?
I'm really excited for the fight. Honestly, it's a great fight. I do like Anthony Rumble Johnson. I really do like Alexander Gustafsson, but it's Gus' time, man. He wants that rematch. He's been promised that rematch so many fucking times, and either come short or got injured and then got pushed back to the DC fight. I really want Gus to get his title shot, and he's the guy to beat Jon Jones. I've been saying, if DC wasn't the guy, Alexander Gustafsson is the guy. He showed that he could do it, and I think he did do it in the first fight, but he was just on the little fucking shit end of the stick, in my opinion, with the judges. But it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a really close fight. I think it'll go to decision, but I think Gus will pull it over with a unanimous.
I mean, it's very possible unless Rumble knocks his ass out. But Fred, what do you think of that fight? Who do you see winning?
Actually, man, I kind of think, I don't want to say that I think this is going to be an easy fight for Gustafsson, but I think that Gus has all the tools to win this fight. And I think that as good as Anthony Johnson has looked lately, and as hard as he hits and as explosive as he is, he's a bit one-dimensional. I think that Gus can control the distance and outstrike him and finish him with strikes later on in the fight. And I think that Gus also, if he chooses to, holds a decisive advantage in the grappling department, man. I mean, Anthony Johnson's a big guy, and he's got, the win at heavyweight over Arlovsky, which count that for whatever the fuck you will. And, listen, Little Nog has been a zombie for a month of Sundays. I ain't trying to hate on him. But that you can take what you will with that win. And Phil Davis is legit, but Phil Davis's movement and striking is nowhere near the level of Alexander Gustafsson's. I just don't think that Anthony Johnson has fought a striker that is as big and as rangy and has the movement that Gus has. And I think that over the course of a 5-round fight, Gus is going to eventually wear him down and finish Anthony Johnson decisively.
decisively. So you don't see any chance of a knockout for Johnson. You think Gustafson
Well,
controls the
yeah,
range?
yeah. I mean, I think if Johnson wins the fight, he wins it with a big punch. I guess that's kind of my point. Is that Gustafson has a lot of avenues to win this fight, and Anthony Johnson kind of has one that I see clearly. And if he don't get that knockout early, third, fourth, fifth round, he's fucked.
That's true. And Aaron, what do you think of this fight? Who do you see winning?
I think that Fred took my script. Fred, exactly right. Anthony is a strong, dynamic monster. There's no doubt about that. But he's always had difficulty with technical fighters, guys who can stick to their game plan and don't shit their pants when they see the size of him. Now, what I see is it going like, say, 3.5 rounds, and then Anthony being so gassed out that Gus gets the submission.
That's very possible. And it's true. Johnson doesn't have the best gas tank ever. The way I see it, though, is I think this fight, and actually I'm going to go ahead and put the whole card so everyone can see it. To me, I just think that Johnson's going to catch him. I think the bad luck that Gustafson has gotten with not being able to get this fight fucking done once and for all is going to continue. I think Johnson's just going to knock him out, but I like knockouts. I guess that's what I'm kind of hoping for. But if Gustafson wins, I'm not going to be mad at all. I'd love to see that rematch with Jones, and Jones doesn't want to see Gustafson at all because Jones had a lot of trouble with him in that first fight, and a lot of people made that case that Alexander should have won that fight. So he's coming back for some revenge, and for sure if Gustafson wins, there's going to be that rematch right away. So, but I just have a feeling that Rumble Johnson's going to pull it off and end up taking on Jones. What's up?
In my opinion, if Johnson couldn't finish Phil Davis, who beat Alexander Gustafson, because of course that's gonna be the promo. It's gonna be, well, Anthony Johnson beat Phil Davis, who beat Alexander Gustafson. Well, Alexander's a completely different fighter than what he is from fighting Phil Davis from in the past. But if he didn't finish Phil Davis, he's not gonna finish Alexander Gustafson. Yeah, he finished Nog, but look, it's Nog. What the fuck? He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna finish Gus. Gus has a chin for days. If he didn't get knocked out by Jon Jones in that fight or finished, I think he could pick Johnson apart.
I want to bring up one more thing to Nick and Fred and yourself, Eddie, because you want to see the knockout, but mostly Fred because I didn't realize that we shared a single mind. The reason why I don't want to see Anthony Johnson win this fight is he will get his ass whipped by Jon Jones.
Yeah.
He is that guy. You know what I mean? I want to see somebody challenge Jon Jones, and I'm telling you what, Anthony Johnson's not that guy. Jones will handle him.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. There's got to be somebody out there that gives, besides Gustafson, and maybe Gustafson's the only guy, but someone that gives, Jon Jones that dogfight. Because, look, it wasn't Daniel Cormier. For as much as he wanted to say and as much as I wanted to see DC win, that wasn't that dogfight. They were comparing it to fucking Ali Frazier, whatever they were comparing it to. They thought that was going to be it. It clearly wasn't. It really wasn't. So you're hoping for that Gustafson rematch to be just as good as the first one. So, I mean, if that happens, I'm not going to be mad whoever wins, but I'm starting to turn your guys' way. If Gustafson wins, that's going to be the preferable match. Talking about that same card, put this shit back up. The co-main event is Dan Henderson against Jared Mousasi. Is it just me, or is this the weirdest fucking fight ever?
I didn't even fucking realize this fight was on this card. Why is that even a fight?
Like, I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish here. It's not like Henderson's going to go on a title run.
Exactly. It's no. I guess give Mousasi a fight so hopefully he gets a title shot eventually sometime soon. Give him a big name so he ups his name. I don't know. I don't even know why this is even here.
Well, yeah, you just hit it on the head, man. I mean, listen, Gegard needs to be built back up. Hendo's going to take the fight. Hendo's a fight that Gegard should win relatively easy if he can just avoid that right hand.
That fucking H-bomb.
Yeah, I mean, if he can avoid that, this is a fight that's tailor-made for Gegard to win. And Dan Henderson, even at this point in the game, is a is a huge name that you can, you know, you can give Gegard a really big fight and get him right back in the conversation if he gets this W, which he more than likely should.
Yeah, I mean, look, at this point, Henderson telegraphs the shit out of that right hand. Everyone knows it's coming. If you get caught, you're kind of retarded. So, I mean, that's just what it is at this point. Aaron, what do you think of this fight, man?
Well, I think that Nick touched on it, and then Fred recognized it. They do these sometimes. This is kind of like what I used to call a changing of the guard. We saw it with who did they give Rich Franklin? Did they give him Frank Shamrock? Or not, sorry, Ken Shamrock. Remember that fight?
Yep.
They'll do this sometime with a guy that they're like, all right, this guy has a decent chance of being a fresh name in this division. So this will either be like, oh, nope, I guess we were wrong, or then he'll always have that win that, oh, he beat Dan Henderson. And, yeah, he beat Dan Henderson in his, 40s?
Yeah, I think it was.
But see, here's the thing. Let me. Sorry to cut you off, Aaron. Let me touch on something real quick. I think the reason that fights like this matter and are big is because most fans aren't necessarily like us. You know, this is a fight that the casual fan can tune in, and when they see Gegard Mousasi stomp Dan Henderson's ass, they're going to go, "Wow, who the fuck is this European guy, Gegard Mousasi?" You know what I'm saying? We all know that Dan Henderson's fucking 137 years old. But the casual fan is going to look at this and go, wow, this guy's a killer. We should be looking out for Gegard. And that's why they make these fights, for those type of fans, not for fuckers like us who already know what time it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably right on that. But I mean, overall, it is what it is with that fight. It's just building. I mean, I understand building Gegard back up. I feel like Mike Goldberg's gonna call him Gerard or some bullshit like that. That'd be pretty funny. But let's talk about the third fight on that card. A fight that a lot of people are calling to be probably the most boring fight this year, at least so far, between Ryan Bader and Phil Davis, two high-level wrestlers. And I don't know. I'm not too excited about this fight, and I think it's a fight that Ryan Bader is going to win. But let's talk about it anyway. Nick, what do you think of this fight?
Sorry, I was distracted on Twitter. Davis Bader. This fight shouldn't even. Well, no, 5 versus 7. It's a good fight, but I think Phil Davis just ground and pounds him the whole time, just holds him down and just manhandles him the whole time. Phil Davis is that D1 wrestler from Penn State, my sister's alma mater, and I like Phil Davis. My sister actually knows Phil Davis, went to school with him, and
I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna hold back on any fucking.
She
knows Phil Davis, huh?
How polite we were on that. All of us held back on that. Obviously.
I know. I saw Aaron's face. I saw Aaron's face. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Anyway,
look, man. Here's one thing you can't do when you're hanging out with your boys is ever bring up your sister ever, because that shit will get exploited, bro. Yeah, all right, I'm telling you.
My sister knows Phil Davis. Yeah, so does mine.
Yeah.
An asshole. Okay. Anyway, Phil Davis wins by GSP.
Phil Davis wins by what?
By GSP. Hold him down.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what the fuck? Hey, it's possible. And actually, someone actually tuned in on is tweeted over at Crossroads MMA. Tanny Lou at Machida Power on Twitter says, the MMA's Ali Frazier is Silva Weidman. Do you guys agree?
No.
I totally agree. I fucking totally agree. I even just
Nick agrees. No, Nick agrees he's a Silva fan to the core.
Fuck. That is. It is. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. She wins. She's my new hero.
I think there's trouble going on in the Silva camp, man.
Nope.
Really?
I tell you, man. There's rumors going on. You know what I mean? Like psychologically, physically, this guy's pushing 40. He got knocked out, and not just a little bit. I mean, he got knocked out concussively, and then had one of the most horrific injuries in UFC history. And you're talking about a dude who's been in Muay Thai. So think about those shins. When that shin busted, that wasn't like a newbie going up against a guy who has conditioned shins. That guy's shins must have been like fucking, like steel. And when that shit busted, man, you got to think. Okay, think about this. Like, you walk outside, right, Ed? Nice warm weather, you prick. There's no snow. You miss a step and your lower leg shatters, right?
Yeah.
Now, no matter what they do, every time you walk down steps, you're careful. You're like, man, I walked down steps one time and my fucking leg exploded. That's just my take on it. I don't think we're ever gonna see the Spider again. You know what I mean? He's a different guy. He's almost 40. He's been knocked out. He's been injured. He's lost the title, and I think he knows it. I think he's a smart guy. I think he knows it.
You know what? Somebody on Twitter actually brought this up a couple of days ago. GJS, one of the guys that I go back and forth with all the time, he was asking me if I had heard the rumor that Anderson Silva got knocked out in camp. Now, I heard about him knocking somebody else out in camp, but there's actually a rumor going around that Anderson Silva was knocked out during camp.
Yep, I heard that.
That could be a big fucking deal going into that Nick Diaz fight.
Mm-mm.
And Nick doesn't think so. Why not?
I'm just gonna stay quiet.
That's how big
Because
of a
look,
Silva
okay,
fan
honestly, all right, look, here's my honest opinion. Yes, I'm a huge Silva fan, but I don't know what Silva's gonna walk out. Now, the second Chris Weidman fight, when he crouched down at the entrance ramp, whatever, when he was walking out, he crouched down for a good 2 minutes. At that moment right there, he lost the fight in my eyes. I knew he fucking lost that fight. Because if you can't just walk out to the cage knowing confidently that you can beat this guy, you lost that fight. And I think that's where he lost that fight in his mind, is right then and there. Now, with Nick Diaz, we'll have to see, because Nick Diaz is a great fucking fighter. He is, in my opinion, one of the best boxers in the UFC. He knows how to strike. He's great jiu-jitsu, but I don't know. Maybe Silva has that fucking red in his eyes and just wants to go after him and finish him. But you never know. I think he could get knocked out by Nick Diaz. We've seen him get knocked out once. It can happen again. So it hurts for me to say it, but I don't know which Anderson Silva is going to fucking show up, but it better be the Spider for at least one more fight. And for me, just personally for me, because I can't see him walk out on a loss with a leg break, because I don't want that to be my last memory of my favorite athlete.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, anything can happen, clearly, because after we saw, look, nobody expected, I mean, what was it, that rematch, Silva came out as a favorite, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Silva was a fucking favorite in the rematch, and then breaking his fucking leg, it was, first of all, really, really shocking ending, but I agree, it's not how you want to see a guy go out. Maybe he's coming back for one more fight just to prove that he still has it. And maybe if he somehow finishes Nick Diaz, you know, maybe he gets that confidence back up, then maybe he can make one more run at a title, because Dana White already said he'll give a fucking title shot if he beats Nick.
Which I don't like. I don't even think he should get a title shot. He should just fight fights. No more title shots.
I don't know, Fred, what do you think?
Well, Nick brings up a good point, though, because you guys remember when he lost to Chris, he was like, nope, Chris is champion now. I don't want to fight for champion no more. I fight. I'm not going to fight for championship no more. Too much stress, too much time away from my family. I just fight. And then, no, I think Dana was like twisting his nuts going, no, you're going to be in this organization. You're fighting for the title. So, you know, Nick brings up a great point, man. I'd like to see him write out his 20, what has he got, like a 27-fight contract?
Some ridiculous number, yeah.
Just beating guys' asses. I'm sorry to cut you off, Fred. Go ahead.
You're good. There's always more money in the title hunt. More sponsorships, more this, more that. If he's fighting for a title, motherfuckers are going to care more. He's got – listen, did you say was the initial tweet that was Silva Weidman R. Ali Frazier?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Okay. Respectfully speaking, whoever sent that tweet, fuck no. Silva Weidman – well, listen, Ali Frazier were these – long, crazy wars of attrition, and you know, this was not that. I honestly don't know what you would call Silva Weidman. It is a very unique circumstance. You have Michael Jordan getting beat on almost two technicalities, quite frankly. And I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying they're very odd circumstances. The first time around, he was clearly clowning his dick off to the point that he got knocked out for fucking acting stupid. And the second time around, Chris Weidman did check that leg kick, so you can't take all the credit away from him. But it was still fluky that fucking Anderson's leg snapped like a spaghetti strap. What the fuck? I mean, so you know, not necessarily at all. I think it's very intriguing, and I think that if Silva wins this fight with Nick Diaz, of course that's the fight that they're going to try to make, because one thing I will criticize the UFC on, and usually I'm pretty, good on most of their decisions, I think sometimes they rush the big fight. Here's the deal. If Anderson looks good against Nick Diaz, if he comes out and actually gets a finish, I say you give him a meaningful fight at 185. And we find out exactly where he's at. Give him Jacare or Yoel Romero or, whatever, fucking Tim Kennedy, Michael Bisping, I don't know. Give him somebody who's actually a fucking 185er and remotely relevant. And if he comes out and styles on them, then give him the big trilogy fight with Chris and let that be his fucking hurrah. If he wins that one, maybe the first two were bullshit and he can retire as Michael Jordan. If he loses, then Chris Weidman, if he still has the belt by then, really is the heir to throne, and he's the fucking king, and that can, play out the way I think it should.
True.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for sure. Aaron, anything else on this?
Yeah, I don't know. Some of these fights, I keep saying I have and I got to really start watching this because I say fantastic too much, and there's a couple of other things I've noticed that I'm a repeating bastard. But to what end? You know what I mean? Just like with Vitor Belfort, he gets a title shot, but to what end? Do we want to see that guy be champion? He's not going to be champion long, in my opinion. Same thing with Anderson Silva at this point of his career. If he gets past Nick Diaz, and now I'm actually saying this is a big if. Nick Diaz is no joke. He's going to go out there wanting to prove something. And like Nick said, one of the best boxers, and he's got a ridiculously sick ground game, and he is tough as iron. You know what I mean? He's no pushover, and you better not be doing none of that fucking clowning bullshit with Nick Diaz. That shit ain't going to go over. So he looks good against Nick, and then he does beat Chris Weidman. To what end? He's not going to have another fucking 9-year run unbeaten.
No. He'll retire.
Retires
champion. How good did that go for fucking GSP?
Yeah, right. It didn't.
I think it goes over better than for Anderson than GSP.
Maybe, but I'll tell you what, and I said it before on this show, and I hope that there's some people listening. Stop fucking talking about GSP on social media. He's not coming back ever. You guys ever see fucking Saving Sarah or Forgetting Sarah Marshall? It's over. Find a new show. He's not fucking coming back ever. Take his cock out of your mouth and find a new guy to nut hug. GSP's never coming back. Never ever. Santa Claus isn't real. The Tooth Fairy is your mom. GSP is not
coming back. That might be the best. Oh, geez, that was the best ending.
That has to be tweeted right now.
All right, so
that's fucking awesome. But yeah, no, GSP's never coming back. But no, if Anderson retires as champion, I think it's a better for him than it was GSP. He's a pound for pound best fighter. Supposedly, he was the king. He had the belt for so long. Blah blah blah. He wrecked everybody in his division. I think so did GSP, but GSP was like, here's the belt. Maybe I'll be back. I think if Anderson retires, I'm done. And then Dana throws like the biggest fucking event for his ass too.
Yeah. All right. Well, then end that one there. We'll talk about a few quick ones here. Just a quick couple words on it. Douglas Lima gets hurt again, injured against Paul Daly. He's not going to get to defend his title. That's a bit of a weird one. It sucks. I like to see the Lima boys in there fighting, but Douglas is hurt again. What do you think of that, Aaron?
I think I found out before everybody else because I was talking about Diego having them both on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, hey, Diego, what's up, man? You guys ready to come on? I got the Miller brothers coming on. We'll have the Lima brothers coming on. He's like, no, man, Douglas got hurt again. He's heartbroken. He don't want to talk to nobody. I was like, fuck. But on the other hand, how would you like to be on the show? Because I am a ruthless whoremonger. But no, man, it sucks because, man, Douglas Lima is one of those kind of head scratchers where the Bellator doesn't give him a whole lot of credit, like a whole lot of press or anything like that. Man, he's a fucking beast. That boy's a beast. You look at his highlight reel, Douglas is for real, and that's kind of one of the head scratchers too. It's like how did that boy never get drafted by the UFC? But no, it's heartbreaking. He had to go through a surgery. Diego didn't tell me what his injury was, so I don't know if you guys know or not. But
yeah, I don't see anything on it.
It sucks when a champion has to be that inactive for that long, just like the Kane situation, just like anything like that. So Godspeed to Douglas Lima. Hope he gets better real quick.
Yeah, for sure. And then another one here is, oh, Jesus Christ. King Mo's moving up to heavyweight to take on Shek Congo.
Fuck.
Oh, come on. Does anybody want to see that just ass whooping that King Mo's about to get?
No. No, Fred, you know what you need to say about this, just like you said before. What's your catchphrase?
Nobody fucking guy.
You know? Yeah,
I don't know, man. You listen, Bellator's definitely going. I was actually going to mention this earlier when we was talking about I forget. We mentioned something about Bellator, man, and they are definitely kind of going the freak show route a little bit. I think that Scott Coker might be slightly off base this time, though. I think he's trying to copy the Strikeforce platform, and he's trying, the Kimbo and trying to mix in some legit MMA talent with some names to kind of create this atmosphere of a Pride-esque type deal. I just think the MMA landscape is a bit different now, and I don't think it's going to play out the same way. I think some of this shit's going to backfire on them. I mean, people will tune in, but who really gave a fuck about Tito Ortiz and Stephan Bonner, even with the major push it had? It didn't. I know it did big numbers, but it's kind of like they're in it for the short grab and the fast money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they got some quick viewers, but if they keep pulling shit like this, even cats like us are eventually going to be like, who gives a fuck, Jack? Next thing you know, Kimbo's going to be fighting middleweights and shit. Like,
Kimbo wants. Let me see, because it's actually on here right now.
Kimbo wants Tito Ortiz.
Petrozelli. He wants that rematch.
Oh shit, he wants a rematch. I didn't see that.
And Petrozelli said he would come out of retirement to do it. But while we're on Bellator, what I want to know is behind the scenes, does Sean Shelby and Joe Silva make fun of Bellator's matchmaker?
You got to. They have to. I don't know who is the matchmaker for Bellator. Is it Coker or somebody else?
I think it's Pee Wee Herman.
Probably.
Now, I have a question for you guys. Since Paul Daly doesn't have an opponent, would this be, and I'm just shooting some shit here, would this be an opportune time for the UFC to finally let Paul Daly back into the UFC and fight for a welterweight? He'll never be a contender.
Never. They said he'll never be back in the UFC.
You know what? He's the one guy that Dana White actually. He's the only one that Dana White actually kept his word on so far. Dana White said that a bunch of other people, you're never gonna have women fight in the UFC. You're never gonna have so and so come back, and then he changed his mind. Paul Daly is the only guy that he's held true to that word, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I think we have a better shot seeing Koscheck get cut and sign to Bellator and then fight Daly again than Daly come back to the UFC. That shit's not gonna fucking go down. This is not. All right, and then I got one more thing on here, and I can't fucking find it. No, I think that's it.
I want to mention something on that Bader-Davis fight. Just to be a dick for a minute and shit all over that. The only way that fucking fight is entertaining is if they fucking put alligators in the ring. And those fucking fight for their lives. Because you know what's interesting about this fight, though, is that I think if these two fucking guys actually I think if they were mad and at a bar and fucking got after it, I think it'd be fun to watch. Like if they actually tried to hurt each other and didn't turn it into a fucking wrestling exhibition, which we all know is inevitably going to happen, or an awkward kickboxing match where neither one of them look like they know what the fuck they're doing. If they actually stood there and banged on each other, they're big, strong dudes. Like somebody would probably go to sleep, but you just know they're going to have this fucking slow-ass, drawn-out, tedious fucking fight that I'm dreading watching, man.
Yeah, I mean, unless Rand Bader knocks him out. Otherwise, it's going to be a bunch of eye pokes from fucking Phil Davis.
Never going to happen. The title of this fight should be, How Much is 18 Minutes of Your Life Worth?
Oh, shit, man.
That'd be perfect. Oh, God. Right. And then one more thing here. Kung Lee announces retirement from combat sports. Does anybody care?
No, I don't give a fuck.
No.
Exactly.
No.
All right. On that note, we'll end the show. Thanks for joining me, fellas. Follow Nick at Nick X Micro, soon to be at Nick B Drankin.
It's not
Then,
going to be.
No, it's Nick is grown bitches.
Nick is what?
Oh, please do it.
God.
Follow Aaron over at Stand Letter N Bang Radio. Great shows over there, man. I always download that shit, and then I'll listen to the Hawaiian Boys tomorrow when I'm at work. Then Fred Kirby from Gem City Fighting at Kirby_MMA. Thanks for joining me, fellas. Make sure to go to crossbonesmma.com for all your MMA news. Check out the Twitter at Elaw31 is mine. At CrossbonesMMA is the website. New, bigger, better things coming up. Make sure you catch Stand and Bang Radio. That dude, fucking Aaron, does good shit all the time. I love listening to your shit, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks for joining us, and you guys have a good night.
Later, guys.
Later, fellas. Good night.
And see, Nick be drinking.
Nick be drinking.